Hey guys, welcome back to another daily waves on cryptos. Today, a belated analysis, but we're going to have an extra pair looked at. We're going to have a quick look at BTC USD. Everybody's expecting a dump. No dump is occurring. Luna, it's dumped. And we need to see where it's going to go. This was the vote from QIC community, and also going to have a quick look at ADA. That was my YouTube community's vote at the beginning of the week. It's also important to look at what's going on there, because if we break the one, there is a lot of downside risk. So before we go ahead, of course, as always, do note that none of this is investment advice. It's purely educational. If you have your own opinion, of course, feel free to comment in the video, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I will try to be quick today. It's Saturday. Don't want to take much of your time or my time either. So let's jump straight to BTC and, well, then Luna and ADA. I'm starting off with a clean chart. Just wanted to show you what I'm thinking is going to happen from here. Okay, regardless the fact that we are seeing an upside, I think it's a correction. It looks corrective. It reminds a correction, and it fits the structure as well. Now, you do know that I'm expecting an ABC as a running flat. Right now, running flats have the tendency, if we connect, of course, it starts at wave B and also down to wave A, we're going to get a potential low over here that is going to meet this particular base channel, right? So that means that for one, that has more room to move lower towards 31, perhaps even lower, if it is even a running flat. A move below 28 or so will increase the risk of this becoming an extended flat. And if that happened, we could be seeing at something like this, for example. That might be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that might be just the first wave. So only once we move up, and even if we break 42, it could be a case we're going to go all the way up here, then do the third, the fourth, and the fifth. So we can be here for a while. It can also be a case that this is going to be an ABC. This is an ABC. This is going to be an AB here and C. We're going to get another ABC and then one more down. That is going to give us, as you well know, a motive wave, which is also allowed in the running flat variation. Again, more upside is expected for this. We have spoken about the W, X, and Y alternative too, and it looks quite likely, and I would even say maybe 55-45 between the two, okay, if you put them in the same scale, just these two. Why? Because that really looks like an ABC, okay, although we still have to, I'm following the guidelines, there is no overlap, so I remain adamant 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, but it just reminds it. That would be the X in that case, and we'll probably get something like Y here and then move all the way up. Okay. Now, alternative scenarios. Triangle and up. So we can see more upside once we get another low, or even if we don't. Other alternative, WX and Y still. WX, that's going to be A, B, C, D, E, and then we'll move up. And that triangle wave here can be replaced with a flat either. So imagine having something like WX, ABC, ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be crazy, no? Either way, the idea is, and we'll go now a bit deeper in the shorter term. The idea is here that from the top all the way down, we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we are going down for the 5th wave. It looks like to me, then I haven't moved it just yet. Maybe I should just put it here. For now, we haven't really gotten there, so it's a swing failure. So my 4th is here, and we're gonna get another leg down, okay, which means, you know, that's 1 and 2, very likely to get an ending diagonal here with that depth. Or it could be a case where this finished here. But if it finished, it wouldn't be the end of this, because that structure over here looks very corrective. It could be a case only if that would be we'll get something like a 1 and 2, or we get like 3, 4, and 5, like a leading diagonal, and from there correct and move higher. So only a leading diagonal, I see more upside continuation here. Otherwise, no. If indeed we finish down here though, what does this mean? Well, it can mean many things. It can mean that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which is a tiny wave 4 over here compared to this wave 2, but it's possible, okay? But in that case, as I said, it doesn't look much likely, because this is corrective only if it becomes a leading diagonal. So there are some probabilities that this has already finished, okay? Now, we have reached nearly the 90%, okay? So the 80% is where we usually expect triangles to go to. So the more we move lower down, the more the probabilities of a triangle reduce here. Also, a triangle is a pattern that is going to take much longer to complete. So it's prudent to use patterns that are going to complete sooner, because they're going to give us a sooner validation or invalidation. Okay, that's the method. Either way. Now, if we finished, only leading diagonal up. If we haven't finished, one more leg down, perhaps it's going to be an ending diagonal, and from there I'm looking for more upside. That's the running flat. If we continue lower, that might just be the first wave of the expanded flat, as I said. Okay, so we might see something like this, but then it will be an extended 5th. Okay, we would get an extended 5th, something like this. Okay, if we get the extended 5th, both the W, X, and Y and the expanded flat coming back on the table with more probabilities. Okay, so what I would do, guys, if I were you, I would just put my Fibo from top to bottom here in the last structure. Okay, pay attention to the 50 here. It seems that it is also a cluster. The 38K has rejected bulls twice already. Okay, and it looks corrective as well. So currently we're also looking at the 4-hour, but even if we look at something else, we just went up to nearly the 39K again, and we are down 1K on a Saturday, even more than that. So that can foretell potential continuation to the downside, at least for the day. Otherwise, it would just have to be something like, you know, a correction here, which means, and we don't interact, but we are going to interact, and perhaps maybe we'll get another wave up. And who knows, that might be like a flat, and then we might see ABC. Yeah, or it might be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So in either case, we're talking about a flat over here and then more upside. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if we go to 40, 42K. Don't forget, guys, that cryptos are following stock markets. Okay, so stocks closed high yesterday, they're recovering, and that is increasing appetite for more crypto. Monday will be a big day, of course, and we need to wait for the weekly close as well. On the weekly close, just as a reminder, we look nice. Okay, so far it looks like a bounce is in. Okay, but we would prefer to close, of course, as high as possible to the weekly high for these to, you know, to show us a bit more evidence for more potential upside. Now let's jump quickly on Luna. I have made a few changes here to reflect the last leg to the downside. Although I'm not particularly happy with this structure, it's just not looking right. It looks very ugly in all its upside leg. Either way, you know very well that this top was identified a while ago, right? And what we're currently seeing is a healthy correction. Unfortunately or fortunately, depending on whether you're long or short, but most of you are long, this to me looks like a leading diagonal, guys. Okay, which means that we could correct higher for wave B and then indeed do another leg down. Okay, so because we are looking at obviously here the primary wave 1 down, this is going to be a very big and probably the last moment to go in for Luna, if of course this is a valid scenario, indeed proves to be valid. Because once we get the first and the second, then there is no return. Okay, the moment we break above the previous high to go in 3 is going to take us very likely above the 200. Okay, very likely above the 200. For now, however, it looks like we are correcting. Okay, it looks like that we might see an upward leg in order to complete wave B, and that might be a good opportunity for some to deleverage, to de-risk, some of your longs. We're going to be looking at the 64, 50, 70 and 77 as well, because it's a wave B, so it's supposed to be quite deep. An alternative scenario in the short term might be that this is WX and we're going to get something like ABC here. So that means that we might get wave Y here, right? So that would be a complex correction, which, by the way, I can just quickly show you. It would be something like this, right? So we'll be getting A, B, and C over here, and that would be the end. Now, nothing would change practically and theoretically, but because a leading diagonal is usually followed by explosive moves, okay, usually there might be more downside risk with the leading diagonal pattern. Okay, so let's see how this goes and take it from there. If we lose this level, then the chances of the leading diagonal are going to get limited. Why? Is because we do have a throwover already, and throwovers cannot just go and do a 50% throwover. They are limited to how much of the diagonal trend line they can surpass. So this is one of the scenarios with its short-term alternative. The other case, guys, would be, although it's highly unlikely because you've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 clearly here, and the fifth wave in, the volumes actually suggest that. But regardless, it could still be a case where we might be that our wave 3 is up here. All right, I mean, we do have a very ugly diagonal here in the minute degrees, so I would be surprised if this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and we get something like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here for 5, which means that would be a similar correction indeed. However, it would still mean that we're going to stop probably sooner and then do one more leg up, okay, then go the way down. So that has implications for the medium term because the upside is going to be limited to perhaps around 140 or any other level that could to be honest, 1, 2, 3, if that would be 1, 2, 4, that would be a case where it could 140 seems to be a level that can be expected. So that's the only difference here. So implications to the upside. Is there anything else we can mention here? I mean, I think we are solid, to be fair. It's just, to me, it looks like that more downside is coming in the medium term. In the short term, I think and it looks like that we want to move a little bit higher in order to complete this correction in wave B and to also validate the leading diagonal in A. Now add that also on the 8 hours. Well, haven't been many changes here, to be honest. That is exactly the same count as with BTC. We are facing more downside, unfortunately, here as well. We're looking also for a leading diagonal in wave 1 and 2, and then we're looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 internally in 3, and then we have a flat. And it looks like to me 1, 2, 3, 4, and this 4 looks like a triangle. We'll go closer. I want to see one more leg down and then all the way up to around 150 and then continuation to the downside. That also fits the potential Luna's scenario, and I wouldn't be surprised if BTC turned out to do something similar. So there is the potential also for that being a 4, right? But then the 5th would end here, and it means that would be doing an expanded flat over here. Okay, so it would be something like ABC, ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for wave B, and from there start moving lower down. So that's the medium-term alternative, I would say. But to me, it looks like that since the rest of the market looks pretty similar. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then up and then down. Okay. On a different note, also medium-term alternative, that might turn out to be a W, X, and Y, right? Which means that we've got something like an ABC, yeah, and then you got something like an A, B, and C again. So in that case, a W, X, and Y would indicate that we finished down here, and we have done also a double correction down here, right? And instead of stopping at B and moving lower, we're going to continue higher. Hints around that pattern, if we assume we're down here. We're not, but we're going to go probably one more down, but just use this level since it's there our low. Once we break 170, unfortunately, yeah, it's far down the line, but it's still an alternative, and I need to mention it. Looking at this correction, guys, let me just go down on the 4 hour a little bit. It starts to show evidence of a triangle. Okay, triangles are good for 2 reasons. First, they're very easy to identify, hence we know that we are correcting and there is another leg down. And second, when they're used, we can use the measured move to identify where we can potentially end when we break the low. If we assume we end here, the 88 looks like a level where, oh no, sorry. Measure, it's just on the log, hold on. It would be easier to do it like this. Yeah, it looks like the 66 might be a level for this to end. If the 66 would be a level, I will be more inclined to see, because it's supposed to be from now, right? I'll be more inclined to see the WXY variation. Because if you go down to 66 and then move up to B and then go down again, we're going to end up going lower than 1540 perhaps even. So I think it's highly unlikely. Okay, highly unlikely. Maybe on a different note, this is just a guideline. Maybe we're not going to do the measured move here with this triangle pattern. Okay, so ABC, W, X, and Y, or ABC with this wave here being done with A down here, yeah, and this is ABC as a flat in wave B. Either way, it looks like to me more downside is coming. I don't see signals on the RSI or on the MACD, to be fair, but if you look at this, we are likely to get a signal fairly soon, something like this. Well, price down, RSI up. Okay, and from here probably start descending once again. The invalidation for this pattern would be at 115 at the current structure. Okay, so that's gonna be all for the week, guys. I hope you find this video valuable. In case you do, subscribe, hit the like button, and if you have any questions, leave your comments. I'll be more than happy to get back to you. Enjoy your weekend and take care.